What's up, guys? So today we're going to be working on the shit horse. Clayton is here, already hard at work looking for tools.
Yeah, shit horse autopsy.
So after power cruise, we had, if you saw the last video, we talked about the tires, how they were no good, and we got these drag radials. So they're going on the back, and then we're going to be using those 10 holes, putting them on the front. But to do that, we have to move the exhaust because the exhaust is only made to fit these skinny tires. So that's what we're going to do today, so let's get to work. We had to take one of the skinnies off because in power cruise the tires split open. So we got to run this this stalker here just to get it over here so we can switch over to these other tires.
That was the only legal tire on the car.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's a radial. Yeah, that's not a bias.
Yeah, I guess. What's left of it is anyways. Got a little bit of tire rubber on the rear quarter. That's always a good sign. Here you can see a good look at these original Gabriel gas rider shocks on there.
50-50.
Been on there for who knows how long. And there's the new SS drag radial going on.
We just drove the value taxes, the declared value of the car up.
Yeah, exactly. Probably the nicest set of tires we've had on the car since we got it. Alright, so we got these ones off. These ones are going to become the front wheels of the car. And these are the tires we're going to put on, some 205/60s. They were actually on those rims when we got them, and we were going to use them, but then they wouldn't fit because of the exhaust. But now we're going to make them fit. I also have this tire machine here. Old crappy used tire machine I bought a few years ago, but definitely works good, and it'll mount these tires no problem. We got these ones on. They look really good. Still lots of tread considering we got them for a really good deal. Thanks again, Dave from Days of Summer YouTube channel for those tires. And Clayton's even putting some shiny chrome lug nuts on there. Spiff it up a bit. We actually are looking for some 10-hole center caps. Anybody out there has a set, wants to send them to us or sell them to us or something, because that would look cool. Alright, I'm going to mount these tires. Mount up these, or I should say, dismount these tires. And I'm pressing the wrong thing. Whoa! These Dirt Track Hoosier tires, the beads are, I mean, obviously they're for stock cars, so it makes sense, but the beads are so tight. It's always a pain to mount and dismount. Yeah, this is an older tire machine, but I only paid like $200 for it, so I can't really complain. Except for these things stick sometimes. It. Mount up the other one and we'll be good. All right, so we got, I'll show you, we got the front tire on. That's the front. And then of course the rears. So that looks cool, all matching. And this side's all good because there's no exhaust there. It's only on the other side that we run into an issue. So Clayton's taking the O2 sensor out for the wideband because it's actually from his car. We've been borrowing it off his car because we didn't have one. The one that was on here was no good. So I ordered one from AliExpress. It was like 25 bucks. Pretty much looks exactly the same. So we're hoping it's gonna work good. Guess we'll find out. And then once Clayton's gets that out, then I'll kind of show you where the exhaust is like in our way and what we're gonna have to do to fix it. You can see how the exhaust goes. This is our Power Cruise repair here, a piece of wire to hold it up. And then you can actually see it probably right here and right here. Even that little skinny tire was rubbing. So what our plan is to move this section, probably cut it here and move this section of the exhaust back. So in order to do that, we might have to cut into this inner structure. We'll definitely have to cut down here and maybe up here so that we can slide it back a little bit, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal. We're gonna throw the tire on right now. I mean, we know it's gonna rub, but I just wanna kind of see how bad. We'll pull the exhaust off and then we'll start figuring. All right, so we took the exhaust off. Here it is. As you can see, it was made up of some exhaust pipes from a diesel truck or something. That's why it's a little wonky here. So basically, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it pretty much right here. We gotta fix this broken bolt from when we were at Power Cruise. We're gonna cut it here along this weld, and then that's where we're gonna extend it a little bit. And then I kind of marked out, I should get the light, but I kind of marked out, this part right here is just like nothing. So this will be easy to cut out. And then up here where we might have to cut is gonna be a little more tricky, and that might cut right into like the firewall area. But I have this big piece of tubing here, 4-inch tubing, that we can cut in half and then use that to section back in the firewall afterwards. So it's gonna be a bit of work, but it shouldn't be too bad. Cue the spark montage. Press the button on the side. Just remember, always wear your safety gear when working with power tools. Okay, so this part right here, this whole section here, you can put your hand in behind it so it's not part of the actual like firewall tub. So I'm gonna start by cutting this out. You can see we already tried bashing it a little bit before. See what that does, see if that gains us any clearance, and then go from there. Clayton's drilling and tapping out that hole that the bolt broke, getting that handled. And I've been under here screwing around, so I cut this section out, which really helped a lot. I can jack it up and show you. And then up in here, I ended up just taking a hammer and bashing it in, which has gained me a ton of clearance, but now it looks like I'm gonna have to definitely cut here, at least a little bit of that part of the firewall in order to move it back. I'll jack it up into position and then I'll show you how it's fitting now. Now the exhaust is actually in this area here where before there was this piece. So I've definitely moved it back. This brake line here, which goes to the rear, is kind of in the way, but I've been moving it. I'll have to move it a little bit more. It's not a huge deal. But then I think if we cut into here, this is where it's touching now. If we cut into here, that's gonna get us back like 2 inches before it even touches way up here where I bashed it with the hammer, like up here. So hopefully that's gonna gain us the clearance we need. We can also cut this off, which I don't think the tire will hit anyways. But if we get it back, hopefully we're gonna be good. I mean, what I wanna do is once Clayton's done tapping that thing, we'll put this part of the tube back on, and then we can actually see how far back we've moved it, how much clearance we've gained and how much room we've gained. And then hopefully this is gonna be pretty simple and keep that tire from rubbing. We had the exhaust in there and we ended up putting the car on the ground. We've moved it back about this much. I should have made video of it, but I didn't. We moved it back about this much. It tucks right in here good, except we're still gonna have to cut just a bit. You can see, might be able to see here that it kind of goes in, plus I bashed it here. With the tire on, it turns, I'd say about 75% before it hits the exhaust. It's way better than it was, but I figure if we can just move it back another inch, that should gain us like all the clearance we need, and it shouldn't rub. So I'm gonna get the cutoff wheel and I'm gonna cut this section right here out, and then we're gonna end up welding a piece of like tubing in there afterwards. I got everything back in to show you guys. So you can see this is how much we've moved it back now, which is quite a bit. And as you can see, we made a giant hole in the firewall and tucked it in pretty much as far as we can go. I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna hammer up there a little tiny bit. Hopefully that's gonna gain us a little bit more, but I think we should be pretty good, hopefully. I mean, we've definitely almost probably 3 inches of extra space back, so hopefully that should be good. And then we're gonna cut that piece of tubing and fit it in there and weld it in, and it'll be good. Yeah, maybe for the fall we'll just leave it open, and then the heat will all rush in. Yeah, yeah,
Swing it open.
like a stovepipe. We got it kind of fit, but what we need to do is cut kind of a half circle right there so the tube fits in nice. So we're bringing out the plasma cutter.
The hitbox.
Hitbox, yeah. Clayton's scared to try it, so I'm gonna do it.
I'll try it outside the car. I've been asking for
Okay, well then after we do this,
6 months to try the
then
fucking
you
thing.
can cut some.
I got some plasma action from the wheel well.
I haven't used this thing in a while, I don't know. Hopefully it still works. And hopefully I don't light the car on fire or something.
I'll be on fire watch. I guess I should.
So that plasma cutter works awesome. There you can kind of see the piece of tubing coming through there. Now I've kind of jammed it in there nice and tight. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a marker, I'm going to mark it on both sides, and then I'll cut this to match, and then that piece will just go in there and then it'll get welded in, and that should work out pretty good. So I'm going to do that if I could find the marker. All right, Clayton's wish has kind of come true finally. He's going to plasma cut something. Pretty much every live stream, after a couple drinks, he wants to plasma cut things, and I never let him. But today he's going to plasma cut this this piece. Let's see what happens. All right. Yeah, you're going.
No, I know, but what side of the line do I want to be on, or do I want to be on the line?
This is the discard side. This is the side we're keeping.
My side of the line.
Yeah, your side's the discard side. But as long as you go nice, you know, try to go straight, you should be good.
Oh, fuck, it's coming out the other end.
We got it cut out. There's the piece. Just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. How was your first plasma cutting experience?
I think I needed to be on the bench. On the ground is...
Well, it's definitely harder,
It
yeah.
wasn't very steady.
Yeah. Then if you do it on the bench, everyone says you're gonna light your garage on fire. So that's it. So now I'm gonna use a flap wheel to clean up the edges on that and fit that in there, and then we're gonna get ready to weld it. Okay, guys, we've been working away for a little bit, and as you can see, we got it kind of fitted in there, welded. Clayton's making a filler piece for the inside, just where we plasma cut it there. It's all filled in on top and everything. And then after that, we'll seam seal it up, and then we just have to extend the exhaust, and then that'll be it. All right, guys, so we got it all seam sealed up and painted in there. And then we threw the exhaust back on, and we figured that we need a 3-inch piece. So that's how much longer the exhaust is gonna be now, is 3 inches. So that means we moved that whole piece back 3 inches. So that should make a huge difference. We're gonna fit it and tack it all together and then weld it. All right, guys, so we got the exhaust lengthened. There you can see the piece added in. And now we're gonna put it back in the car. And hope that the tire fits. I guess you're gonna have to jack it. Jack it. Well, here's the moment of truth. We got the wheels back on. So far, it's looking like it clears okay, but once you put her down on the ground, then we're gonna know, crank the wheels, etc. I mean, I can see like beside the tire, between the tire and the exhaust, So we got to get it off these blocks, and then we will crank the wheels all the way both ways and see what happens. Well, you don't have to start it. Oh no, it has power steering. What am I thinking? Okay, fire. So that's fully locked. Let's take a look in here. Well, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's touching, but only minorly. Like the tire's passing by it, and then it's getting in there a little bit, which is no different than it was before with the skinnies. And that's only at full lock. So how often are you at full lock unless you're U-turning, right? Drifting. Or drifting maybe. So yeah, that's it. It's all good now. Now we got the 10 holes with the fatter tires on the front. Drag radials on the back. Not too bad for a day's work. All right, guys, Clayton's starting up the shit horse. We're going home for dinner. I'm gonna get in the Nova and move it so he can get out. And yeah, I guess we're gonna end the video here. So like always, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. We'll check you later.